Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Irvin from Open Culture Foundation. Let me switch to the slides. Yeah. I'm Irvin from Open Culture Foundation and Mozilla Taiwan communities. And today I want to start with a simple question. If Taiwan loses its submarine cable, what still works? We often talk about cables as infrastructure and how many cables Taiwan has, how many are broken, and how fast they can be repaired. And these questions matters, but for users, the question is more direct. Can I still open the services and websites I need? The full report is already online at resilience.ocf.tw/web/reports. You can scan the QR code for the full reports. Okay, before the results, I want to thank the APNIC Foundation and the ISF Asia Funds for supporting these works. Taiwan is an island society, and more than 99% of our external traffic depends on submarine cables. This chart shows the cable status over the past year. And we now have 14 cables connected to Taiwan, international cables connected to Taiwan. And the orange and the red part is the broken. So you can see cable failures are not rare. And they are often in a state that where at least one cable is under repair. And most of the time, users do not notice because traffic can be rerouted. And the real risk is clustered failure. If several cables fail at the same time, redundancy can disappear very quickly. This map shows that the cable status in early January, after the earthquake around December 27, 2025, last year. At that time, close to half of the international cable system has problems. Full repair were not completed until last week, in mid-May this year. So this is not just a theory. When international connectivity is badly reduced, the real question is which services can people still use? If emergency information, payments, logistics, communication, or public services fail, a network problem can become a social resilience problem. That is why we started looking at the digital service from the user side. We tested websites commonly used in Taiwan. This is not the same as the Taiwanese websites. If people in Taiwan rely on Google, Gmail, social platform, e-commercial services, or community websites, they are part of the resilience picture. So we tested the website that Taiwanese people use the most. In the latest data sets, we tested 2,157 sites and 1,859 tests completed. The data is from April 17. And for now, the unit is the website homepage. It is not a full service test yet, but it gives us a repeatable starting points. For each site, we open the homepage with a headless browser and recording what the page loads. And then we clean the list, remove ad-related noise, and check the IP, ISN, and location of each resources. And for major clouds and CDNs, we use headers and response time to infer whether the resource is served from Taiwan node. Finally, we classify the sites by the risk we can observe from the homepage. So this is the report. This is the headline results. 89.3% of the test sites needs attention. And 47 of them are foreign dependent. They load at least one resources from outside Taiwan. And another 42% are cloud dependent. They look locally in the beginning, but they rely on the Taiwan nodes of multinational cloud providers. And this does not mean that they will all fail. It means that we should verify them before a real outage. And only 10.7% look locally contained from the homepage, but they also need care. If a homepage loads all observed resources from Taiwan, that does not prove that the whole services is local. Maybe the database will be outside, and the API they use will be outside. The login, payment, search forms, and mobile apps may not be the same place. So this is the risk factor. It's not a live outage simulation, and it's not a final test. So the cloud-dependent groups is especially important. These sites do not request foreign resources in the homepage test, but many of them still use Taiwan node or from Google, Cloudflare, AWS, Akamai, and other providers. Local cloud nodes are useful. They reduce latency and keep material close to users. But local nodes does not always mean that the service can run on its own. During an international outage, the result may depend on the cache, origin servers, control planes, login systems, certificate, and provider plans. So the real question is, can these seemingly localized services keep running when the island is isolated? And this table shows two important points. First, location or localization already helps. Only 3.7% of sites using foreign resources exclusively. Many websites, including foreign services, already serve many resources from Taiwan. And second, provider behavior is very different. Some providers serve most resources from Taiwan node, and others have a much mixed pattern. So the answer is not simply avoid cloud or host everything locally. CDN and local cloud node can improve resilience, but we need to test how each provider behavior during isolation. And if we look at all resources loaded by the tested websites, and then we group them by ASIN, and the pattern is very concentrated. A small number of providers account for a large share of the observed resources. And this is how the modern web works. It's not evenly spread across many operators. It depends heavily on a few infrastructure and platform providers. And that can help if those providers localize resources well. But it also means resilient depending on a very small number of third-party systems. If the word is too small, the red one is Google, and the yellow one is Cloudflare. And there's one positive finding. Government and education sites has a lower foreign dependency than overall datasets. Only 10% of government sites and has observed foreign dependency, compared with 47% overall. And education sites were also below the average. And this does not prove that they are fully safe, but it suggests a better starting point in public sector and academic network environments. For policy, I want to highlight three directions. First, we should monitor critical and commonly used services continuously. We need both the big picture and per service indicators. And second, test major cloud Taiwan nodes before an outage. Many services depending on them, and we need providers to help find out what happened when Taiwan is isolated. And the third, reduce foreign resources dependency in critical services and require backup plans and disconnection exercise. We also need a procurement rule and bandwidth priority plan before the emergency, because it will be too late to recover if we do not already have the backups in hands. And developers can also act on this. When you build a website, think about what happens if external connectivity fails. If you use CDN libraries, prefer services with Taiwan-based nodes, and add local fallback for critical files. For important service paths such as login and checkout, and considering where the data and APIs are located. And if you work on cloud services or infrastructure, there's also a design question that worth working on. And the study is the first structural map. The next step is to test behavior more directly. And we can run a fault injection and block foreign resources, or we can test real user journey, such as from login to transaction, browsing, and search. And we also need a deeper cloud resilience test to check the control planes, origins, cache authorization of those cloud providers. And of course, many people use mobile apps more than websites. And Open Culture Foundation is now developing a mobile app testing services. So stay tuned later this year. And the results are already published at resilience.ocf.tw. And you can look up for your own websites and read the reports and follow the source codes and data. And our goal is to make resilience visible enough that we can improve it. This project started from a g0v, Digital Resilience Hackathon, and we will continue the follow-up work there. So welcome to join the next hackathon. The next bi-monthly hackathon will be next week. And we will also be at APNIC 62 in Auckland in August. So if you will be there, please come talk to us. And also, you are welcome to follow our social network channels. 海缆又被鲨鱼咬断了 which means Submarine cable is bite by a shark again. And you can follow our channels for project updates and the latest Taiwan Submarine cable news on Telegram, Fediverse, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. And please stay tuned for the next cable resilience panel. I will join the next panel again with other friends from CRC Labs. Okay, then that's all of my slides. So we still have some time, so maybe we can check the websites for now. If you open our project website, it will show you a list of websites that we have tested. As I said, it's including 1,800 websites, which commonly used by Taiwanese people. And if you click in any one, it will show you a dashboard that if the submarine cable works or not. And I will make an English localization engine. And like if the submarine cable broken, can g0v.tw still works, and the result is not works. It won't work. And we count the connections, like domestic connections and domestic clouds and international connections, so you can see the numbers and the recorded data, where is the all the connections and the environments and the detailed original data. So that's the website we already published online. Then you can check your website now. So okay, let me check if we have any questions on Slido. Yeah, one. Media. I would like to know how the situation of media, especially there are some of them are actually local agents of China. Maybe we can check now. Let's go to the resilience.ocf.tw, and if anyone can give me any medias, like our central news agency, cna.com.tw, it's not working. Unfortunately, I think most of the websites is not working because 90% of them are not working. But it's like they only have 3 resources from 3 domains, so it's more easily to fix or get a resolving plan. And let's check one which is more China focused, like China Times. And it's better, it's unsure. It's not working, it's unsure. But it has much more resources, domains, like totally 18 domains, and 17 are from clouds, domestic clouds. So yeah, probably you can open that if all the cables broken and it can be one of the information sources. And let's check another website, like another media. 报道者 or 报道 what's the 报道者 domain? Reporters. I don't have the reporters and what else? 镜传媒 Mirror. Oh yeah, I have Mirror Media. 镜传媒 which is not working, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's how you can check the data. And actually, I published the 4 data sets on the GitHub, so you can do the clustering analytic, and also you can run your own batch testing for the specific sites, the specific categories you want. Let's see whether we have any more. No, is there any? Yeah.
You got Google listed. Is this working?
Yeah.
You have Google listed on there. Is that just like a bunch of font libraries, maybe? Like why was there so many Google?
Yeah. I believe that it's because of the Google Tag Manager, Google Tag Manager (GTM). Yeah, most sites load GTN at first, and then use GTN to load other resources like Google Analytics and other. I'm not sure, like push notification, like Firebase and other resources. But for GTN, we cannot we cannot testing the resources loaded by GTN confidently because it's like an indirect test, and yeah, we need to dig more on that. So most of the websites will loading GTN. I believe that most of the websites using GTN because they are using they want to show the advertisements, and the typical procedure is to load GTN and load the advertisement libraries after that. Yeah.
I have a similar question.
Yeah.
It's not Google Analytics, but it's YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing actually quite a few sites actually using YouTube to load their own videos resources.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if the site itself, I probably think it will work.
Yeah.
It's just the video is not loading.
Oh.
So if that counts that it doesn't work, then it's
Yeah, this one very important question, because like in my house, I don't have any like cable TVs. I only have YouTube. I always watch YouTube on TV for anything. Even the news, I watch news on YouTube on my TV, and I don't have cable connections anymore. I think many of the people just watch YouTube on their mobile phones, and they are reducing using TVs. So yeah, this is one of the issues. Yeah, and let's check YouTube. Let's see if I have the data from YouTube. Okay. Yeah, of course, I only have the data from the homepage. But yeah, it seems that Google put most of their services in local nodes, like YouTube, Google, Gmail, and most of the Google services are served from local nodes on the web page level. I'm not sure if we don't know if the database or other resources will or is also domestic or locally, but most of the front page or front end is served from the Taiwan nodes, which is in Zhanghua. So Google is very special. Google is a very special case here, and we believe that they will have more resilience during a massive scale outage. And also they are like the first multinational cloud providers that opening the data center in Taiwan. Yeah.
When developers make websites, there is a way of doing it which is called progressive enhancement,
Yeah.
or graceful degradation, which is like keep the support for the older brothers so that the website still works when something is not perfect, such as the JavaScript library is not loading or something like this. And I don't know to what extent this is really used, but I think it's very little. And do you think this philosophy or this way of making website could be an answer for outage of submarine cables?
Yeah. The best practice will be that still loading your libraries from a CDN like CDN.js or other library or other CDN services, but also add a fallback that you can still like has the library locally with your own website, but only use them when the CDN is failed. But that's like the best practice, but it's not the commonly practice. So I think most of the developers were just using npm install and install a lot of things, and then they even don't know that what their website is loading. So yeah, that's the biggest problem, that most of the people are learning how to developing a website nowadays, like in the modern age group. The instructor will just telling them to npm install the libraries, or even like in the recent years, they were just using the AI to create the front end of the websites. And if you don't explicitly asking AI to using a specific CDN or add a local fallback, then you are just following the common practices, which is like maybe using the jQuery or its own CDNs, like it's like default CDNs, which will not be in Taiwan. And actually, if you use CDN.js, libraries from CDN.js, it will all locally, because the CDN.js is hosted by Cloudflare, and Cloudflare has its Taiwan nodes. So yeah, that's why that's why I do this research. One of the reasons is that as to suggesting and not asking. One of the reasons is to make the resource dependency more visual, and asking and telling the developers then to watch about these issues, and then don't just follow the common practice or the default practice, and you just need to add one more steps to add the fallbacks, and then it will work.
Yeah, so you mentioned you're going to do some testing on the kind of user journey side of, if the core content would be accessible, but the authentication isn't, it would still fail, which obviously is a great way to kind of continue to progress this. Are you also looking at or thinking about the kind of local dependency bit, that like how many data centers are here that if 20% of them went down, then actually the rest of the thing would fall over anyway. Are you thinking about doing that level?
Yeah, most of the providers only have one data center in Taiwan. Like Google has only one in Zhangbin, and Cloudflare and AWS and Azure, they also only have, most of the data centers are located in Taipei. And so yeah, we don't have that redundancy here. And yeah, the centralization issues in Taiwan networks are like still very serious. Like most of the cables, like all 14 cables, connecting to the mainland from the Taiwan from 4 cable stations, so like 14 to 4, and those 4 cable stations connected to mostly Zhonghua Dianxin, the infrastructure are the same infrastructure, like into Zhonghua Dianxin, and most of them maybe will go to Sifang Dianxin, which is one data center in Neihu, just northern Taipei. And Sifang, the data center of Sifang has one very serious incident many years ago, which is that they have the fire in the data center, which causing half of Taiwan's website going down in 1 week or so, or several years ago. So the redundancy is not very good still. And I think after the recent incidents, people are aware about the redundancy. Like another new cables will connect to Taiwan from Taitung, a new cable station. So yeah, people are aware about the redundancy, and yeah, but it's still very difficult. And also like our government or or our friends in the industry is not very happy to discuss about all cable going down. Some of them will think that this is not a real question, because if all cables are going down, probably it's already war and it's not problem anymore. But considering about the Ukrainian experience, although while it's going, the life is still all need to be going, and we still need to work, and we still need all those information system running. So this is also, I believe that this is very important to keep everything more resilient. Yeah. Okay. So the time stops, so we'll hand the stage to the Lulu and our friends in CRC Labs. Next session.
Greetings everyone. The next session, Digital Life Live.